Hello, classroom. How are you? As usual, as we started off this morning, even kind of noisy with the workers, but that is what we like because we're outside and we are continuing with what got cut off this morning in our early bird classroom. So hopefully nothing will get cut off. I think I've got the recording better now as well, with the connection and everything better with the recording, so that way if something does end up getting messed up, my recordings hopefully won't be messed up. That is the big thing that I'm hoping. So it looks like everything's going. Let's finish off what we were doing, which was our exploring of leaves. Now, of plants, of trees today. We wanted to identify. So remember, we were doing, I don't have my glasses on. But I found it. Did I? I did, but it's not there. Well, I might have another one here. There we go. And I actually have another one too, because this one does not have the world famous ginkgo on there. And by the way, I found out since this morning and today, I have a ginkgo plant. So get your leaf hunting pictures together, whatever you're using to hunt leaves, and come with me, because we got interrupted. We also got interrupted doing our math, so we're going to do math afterwards. I don't know exactly where we left off, but let's go. Let's go. Okay, so here are the first couple trees I would like to show you. I think if you remember, I showed you these plants over here, which I'm not exactly sure what these plants are, right? So I'll walk on over to these plants that I'm talking about. But as I said, maybe they're not entirely legal, because there's been a lot of people who have been planting stuff that I don't necessarily know where it came from. But again, we identify it by the flowers. Remember what I said? I was looking for the flowers to come out in this, and they never came out, and I decided I'm going to stop looking for the flowers because they're getting ugly and they're all over the place, right? I smelled them. They don't smell like anything in particular, right? They just smell green. But I did look online at some of these plants, and there's the leaf. And the leaf does at least look semi-familiar. So I think I might get rid of these plants. I am getting rid of these plants. I've never had them here before, so I don't know why they are here in such plenty. Here's this gets beautiful tiny pink flowers on. I've got to cut this branch off because this branch isn't doing it any good. It's dead. So we got to cut this branch off. But here are the leaves, so a close-up of the leaf. Because remember, when we are identifying plants, we are using the flower. We are using the leaf. We are using the wood of the plant, all to help us identify what that is. And did we see it? Did we see it here? Maybe here's one. There we go. So how about that leaf? Can you tell what that leaf is? Well, if you stop moving it, I might be able to, Annette. It's Dr. Feravich, I keep telling you. Oh my gosh. Right? And I think I'm going to steal one of these leaves. Remember, we took a look at one of these leaves and we looked at the back of the leaf. Oh, here, these, oh, they're just, if I would have let this kind of go, we would have gotten a close-up all naturally of the leaf, right? See how beautiful? The sun is the other way. Let's see if we can't see something if we come the other way, if we're coming behind the leaf. I want to get a leaf that's a little bit lighter. I'm looking now. Is this one better? Nope, worse. And looking, how about this one? I'm trying to get to see the light behind the leaf. There we go. Which one is this one? I don't know. And instead of pulling the branch off, let's bring it closer in. There we go. I need to move my hand out of the way. There we go. How about that? How about that? Let me try and get that out of the way. How about that? Okay, I'm already working up a sweat, girls and boys. Let me show you something else here, because now that I'm on a second time, now I'm actually not rushing this. Remember, I think I showed you this. Actually, I didn't show you guys this. I showed it in another video. But here is this Weaglia, I think it is, or something. Remember, I told you that it gets the beautiful red flowers on it that we showed you? It gets them in the spring, but it gets them also right now again. So you could see here, right here, they're really starting to bloom, just beginning to bloom again. I have one in the back, see here? I have one in the back that's pink. And the same thing is going on with the pink one, but they're just starting. And then this whole thing will just be filled with just the most fuchsia red flowers you've ever seen. All tiny, but filled all over the place. Oh, look at this. It does look pretty here. We want to be looking at the leaves and the little flowers and the buds. And for the trees, we want to look at the wood as well. Now I'm going to turn this around to kind of give you a very big scope, like I wanted to earlier, of the different pine trees that I have here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn this. There we go. So starting there in the very corner here, way in the very corner over here, well, there we go, that one. If I can get my pointing correct, that would be great. Is different in branches than this one here is. And if we go back here and look way in the back deep over here, we could see this one in the deep, I think that's the one. Yeah, that's got those long branches. And look at what I saw here as I was sitting down, way up in this tree right here. And this tree right here, way up here, we're gonna go closer to that one in a minute, all right? I want to turn this around so we can kind of see. So here was the pine tree I was talking about here, which has got those long branches, long evergreens that come down like this. And then there's this one here, which wasn't doing so well until I fired all of my landscaping people. Now all of my trees are doing fantastic. And then there is this one here, which is a giant Scotch pine. So I'm not able quite to tell the difference between all of these kinds of pine trees yet, but I am beginning to learn. And I don't have to do it all in one day. Look at that. Look at the backdrop over there with those beautiful pine trees over there, right? They are what? Cone bearing is what they are. Coniferous, right? They're coniferous because they are cone bearing. We got some loud sounds back there, don't we? But who cares? Let's go. We're in nature. So I also want to take a look at then the trees and the leaves, all right? Right here behind me, this tree here, this great big tree, we thinned out the bottom branches and kept all the nice top branches way up there. That's a maple tree. And right next to it there, same thing. Same thing. We have lots of maple trees on this property. I'm pretty sure that I showed you some of the leaves, and we may have gotten it. I'm not 100% positive. I'm not able to get to any of those leaves that are way up there on that tree here, on this little tree here. They cut it and I can't get to those leaves. But I'm gonna get something else. I want to see if, can you see me? Let me turn, no, you can't. There we go. Kind of pointing at the sky. How could you see me? All right, I want to show you, where's a tree? Right there. All right, watch. So I picked off the leaf here off of what these are like white lilac bushes, but they're not lilacs. Look at this. Look at this from way back there. Can you see these beautiful little tiny berries on here? How adorable is that? And they're all the way through here. I'm going to pull a leaf off of here to see what these are. They are the reddest berries I've ever seen. And another thing I always do, this one came off the berries, and that will help me remember as well. All right, this one came off the little red berries. Did you see that? And then I always smell them, but they don't smell like anything. And this one came off of the lilac bush. So these get really big. These leaves get giant, right? That's just a small one. I probably should have picked a bigger one. Let's move up here so we could see those berries a little bit closer. I'm not sure what this is, but here we have a different leaf. The color of this is very, very dark. This one came off the berries. This one came off of this lilac here, but let's get a bigger leaf. First of all, there's a big spider there, but that's a different plant. The lilac bush here It doesn't have leaves this big. This, I don't know. We better pick a bigger leaf off of this one to find out what that is. And this seems to have the same leaf as the berries. See, those are identical leaves. So these berry vines are growing all over here. I love that. This is a different leaf. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna try and get a leaf from that tree. So here are the berries. That's where I got that dark leaf from. So those are bigger. These are the big broad leaves that are right there on that plant here. So you're like, all right, Dr. Feravich, I'm lost. What are you doing? I'm trying not to trip, first of all. Numero uno. We better get some myrtle. We've got it all over the place. We better grab some myrtle, right? Okay. These must be more of those. I don't know. No, the leaves are not the same. These have big broad leaves. Remember, deciduous trees lose their leaves in the wintertime and they have big broad leaves. Okay. I'm gonna leave these at the place I collected them. And then we're gonna keep moving because otherwise I'm gonna, have my hands full. Let me show you this evergreen and vine here. Now I'm not sure if any of this is actually poison ivy and whether or not some of these flowers are flowers that I probably would like to keep. I think that they are, but they've all had troubles until I fired my landscaping people. This is also an evergreen, so this is also coniferous. I'm not seeing any cones here at all though, right? I believe these are flowers. I believe I'm gonna keep these. I think that these might be like the carnation. I'm not sure. And then we have vines here. And these vines here, they have prickers. I don't think that that's poison ivy. I hope not. Let's take a quick peek at it. But I have this ivy like all over the place. You could see. Like we have it right here, same thing. Same exact thing. See? And that's what we're doing. Oh my gosh, I knew I had ferns here, but I forgot that I did. Here's some ferns. I gotta quiet Lucy down. Oh, sorry about that. All right, let me, that's not very secure. There we go. Now I've seen lots of this around. So let's take a look at, yeah, I've seen lots of this on the pictures is what I mean. And, but none of it right there. So we're gonna have to look and do a better search for a picture of something like this. The wind is blowing, so it's not the best. There we go. So kind of cool. Okay, woo! Bending down is just killing my back. And I pick it up and you guys get all these views. No, not a big deal. There are our maple trees. This, I call this a maple tree. This isn't a maple tree. That's what I love. See, you would think I would know the trees in my own yard, and I remember, but I don't. Like, I remember the names of trees, but I don't remember all of them like I thought that I did. Here are, so we had the kids spreading, you know, spider webs like to make me believe that I needed whatever. All I need is a stick here. So these here, you can see that's my wood pile. You can see here, here's me. Here's this little evergreen tree, right? So short and stumpy there. Short and stumpy back here. Oh, it's right directly behind it. I'm like, where? How could that possibly be? Yeah, so these are the things from my mystery series that they made a mess of and put this whole pile here. And now I've got to get some help getting this done because, as I said, I fired everybody and gave you good reasons why I did. So these are all new ever since I had somebody come and solicit me for, do I need my spider kill? I showed you the nettles. Well, here are some live nettles. Right here. So these are sometimes the kind of exciting things that we can explore, even though everything isn't perfect the way that we want it to be. Here, I don't have I'm a little bit nervous because those nettles do hurt, but here is that little pineapple plant, remember? And they had what looked like little pineapples. And down here are the prickly things. Those are nettles. Oh, of course, I'm losing my internet. These here are the nettles with those, not sticky, but prickly leaves there. So, but let's get, and this here, that's another maple. But what I wanted to really get was I wanted to make sure that I got a branch from this tree. I also don't want to lose this. But they die so fast. Oh yeah, you can see. So I didn't know that I had this kind of a tree either. Let's go back. I did this one. And is that different? Yeah, that's different than this. See how fast they die? They're probably shocked. They're like, whoa! I know. Look at here, what we can explore. A giant piece of grass here. almost like a piece of wheat. And there it is sprouting its seeds there. Now it's blowing in the wind. There's nothing I can do about that because it's so light. It will blow in the wind. I guess there is something I can do about it. Looks like a caterpillar, doesn't it? Okay, let's keep going here. I'm going to come down over here again. I showed you these numerous times. And all the crap that they have in the water as well. But here, I pulled this off right before the camera went down and showed you that this does not happen in nature. And this is the plant that I said where it was all mushy. Oh, that's a nice one. It was all mushy and then none of those seeds can come out. And then they got hard as rocks. Let me put that down. And then hard as rock. That's like hard as a rock. Those seeds are dead. Every plant, look at, they're just dry as dust. So every plant is, look at, you can see in the middle, the center of that flower, looks like it was supposed to be a flower, right? Dead as a doornail, but where? Not here. It was still getting all of its nutrients. See what happens when we observe what we see? The plant was getting all of its nutrients from the bottom. What happened to it then? This doesn't happen in nature. That happened at the top of the plant where all of the mushiness was, and now I've got a green signal, and now and none of them now are able to reproduce, none of them. So all the hundreds of dollars that I've spent trying to make this landscaping beautiful for 20 years, and this is what men do to women and my husband and families when they're just criminals. That's what they do. Here, I'll show you. So here, we're underneath the pine trees now. This is a Scotch pine, I do know that. So there's a Scotch pine here. And look at how long the needles are. Let me try and find some needles here on the ground. They're, of course, all over. Here's a needle. Can't even see it. There we go. There's a Scotch pine needle. They're all over, but they're from last year, right? So it's kind of hard to find them. Let's look at another one over here. Now this looks like it's been eaten. But here we've got what? What is there? What do we see there? We've got a cone, right? Conifers. That's what they are, right? And what do we have? We have a cone. That's a lot better picture in that. There we go. And we have a cone, right? Look at what we got. But I was picking up a pine needle, so let me get a pine needle. So here, these could be weeds because look at how fast they grow, especially when I fire my landscaping people. Look at how fast they grow. Look at this. Now this is a weed here. I don't want this here. So I pull this with all my might. There we go. But there we have another kind of plant. Then we look at the leaves, and that is kind of like a fern that we have there. So I'm keeping this one too with us. And here, I happen to look down here, and growing right here is a tiny maple right here. And in the other video, I was like, yeah, did you just pull that from the ground? Look at the roots there. Look at the root system there. Primary roots go down the center. Secondary roots you could see in little fine hairs pick up all the nutrients in the soil. That right there is the ginkgo, and look at how beautiful that tree is. Look at the beauty of that tree. And then just killed this unbelievable tree. I can't believe it. I believe it because I asked him not to. And I told him how beautiful it was. And they killed it. So right here. And there's no saving it. It was there. It was doing great. Not perfect, but doing great. Not perfect because they kept driving their trucks around it. Look at. So I planted that tree, but my mistake was I didn't realize that it was on their property. So, look at that. And the buds were, they were pink, but they were a dark pink. Almost like the fuchsia, but not quite as dark as the fuchsia ones over there. They're a dark pink. They were just, I can't believe, I'm crushed. I'm crushed. I had no idea. I'm crushed. They killed that tree, and they had no reason to. They didn't have to kill that tree. It's a really, really gorgeous, gorgeous tree. So here's the second dogwood. This one of them gets peach flowers on, and the other one gets white flowers on it. Here, so that's what I think those trees are over there, because they plant so easily. Here, though, that they almost killed is a birch tree. And this is beautiful. They wanted to kill it. I watched them, but you know, just watching them like a hawk means nothing. Let's see if I can't get this on some more level ground. Okay. All right, so this is the birch tree here, and you can tell this again off of here. I just see what's going on right on the leaf. Look at that. So that's a newer leaf. Oh, there, I'm trying to get the sun behind it. I think I did a good job. So it's soft on the front, it's rough on the back. And then finally we have the willow tree, which I said is one of my favorite trees. You find them in the water all the time. They're the water all the time. And there she is, that giant, beautiful willow tree. Here's another evergreen here. Yeah, so here's another evergreen. I told him how sad I was about the tree, though. So here we have a different kind of evergreen as well, right? And here it looks like that great big plant that I wasn't sure about it flowering or what kind of plant it was. And here it is. Okay, well, I had a nice little conversation in Espanol, and I don't know if you heard or saw, I don't know how much you saw of that, because I don't know where the camera was during that time, but I have a low. Oh, probably because it might be, because it's overheating, I'm not sure, maybe not. Okay, so, woo, that was nice. That was really, really nice. So, we are going to, actually, I think I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll do the math with the coins tomorrow morning. So we'll have another hour-long early bird tomorrow, and that I had fun and a little bit. Woo! I'm a little bit warm carrying that around and trying to talk and and forgetting about the camera entirely. I'm watching the video. It looks great. I see the plants here. This is Dr. Annette Feravich doing a retake on the plants around my yard so we can do an investigation. Because why? Because we are little scientists, and as little scientists, we are using the scientific method, right? And in using the scientific method, what we do is, I'll get way over here, and using the scientific method, what we start with is, we start with observation and questions. Observation and questions. What kind of plant is this? I don't know. Did you see the wood in the house? Did I show you the wood in the house? I don't think that I did, because I went back over there. One of the things that I also did on the video is I said to show you, yeah, I didn't show you because I went back over there and then we looked at the leaves, including the ginkgo leaf over there. I went back and I went out to go get the leaves, and then we looked at the leaves up close. Now I don't remember where I got them from, but I do remember this was my tree. I would love to take all these off of there, dry them out, right? Get them all dried out. And these would be great decorations to put on your Christmas tree, wouldn't they? They would be. This is from the tree. I didn't realize I had this tree either. Oh, we didn't get a willow branch, but I have that back there. Let me show you something else about trying to understand trees and wood. And here, of course, is a cabinet. This cabinet is made of maple. Now, it's not the color, because the color has already been changed, right? I put a finish on that cabinet. So it's not the color of the wood that we note as much as it is the grain of the wood that we notice, right? So not a lot of grain. See this? We can see some grain here, but not a lot of grain. So that is maple. That's how we get to tell the different woods as well, by how they look. Here, I want to show you this. Let me kick up my socks because I don't think you saw this before. Same thing with the floor, with the flooring here. That is oak. That's oak floor. Notice the grain in oak floor is very prominent, right? You can really see, I want to see if you can see, you could really see that grain in oak like you couldn't in maple. Additionally, other things about the wood are the hardness of the wood. That also tells us something about the wood. How hard is the wood? Maple is a hardwood, which makes it great for, things like, I would assume, cabinets. However, pine is a softwood. We still make cabinets out of pine. So what don't we make out of pine? Well, I know we make decking out of pine, but I also know pine is a softer wood. So I guess you just have to make sure, like for example, here, you wouldn't make your raised flower beds or your raised vegetable gardens out of pine, because if pine's a soft wood, it would deteriorate very quickly. All right, so these are some of the things you want to know about trees. And as you're investigating, maybe you want to look at pieces of wood. Birch, I know the inside of the birch tree, It fell apart so easy, so birch must also be a soft wood too. These are the things that we find out when, as I said, we do, let's move this over here. When we do lots of observation and ask lots of questions like we're supposed to do in a classroom, only now we have so much better. We have so much better classroom. We have so much better of a classroom. That's what it has to say. When we have our outdoors as our classroom. This is Dr. Annette Feravich, and I am the teacher. Thanks for those who join me live. If you don't join me live, watch me in the you can watch me later on, so thanks for watching me later on. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out my website, www.healthymindbodyspirit.net. Thanks for joining.